Hello and welcome back to New Year, New Game. This is where I attempt to play 365 games in my Steam library that I have never played before. This is game 112, Nightcall. Nightcall is a new war simulation, detective investigation kind of game. You, in this particular investigation that you're doing, are a taxi driver who was attacked during one of their regular fares that they were taking, and they never caught the person who attacked you. So you go back to work working as a taxi driver and talk to the different people that you get as passengers and are attempting to gather clues to figure out who this person who attacked you was. They attempted to kill you and they failed, and they may just come back again to try and get you out because you're the only person who has ever survived an attack from them. So, stakes are supposed to be high, but the colorful characters that you pick up in the taxi are very interesting. We picked up a cat. There's a cat available for like pickup, and immediately as I saw that, I was like, I gotta take this cat someplace. I don't know where they're going. I don't care. It shows a cat. I need answers. What is this cat's deal? And we did talk to the cat, and the cat responded back to us with nods. It's cool. It's a pretty cool game. Oh, also, big thumbs up. Great game. Highly recommend it. Try it out for yourself. Anyways, I hope that you all will enjoy Nightcall here on New Year, New Game. Here we go, new game. Choose the investigation, the judge, the angel of death, the Sandman, surprise investigation, or random investigation. Oh, let's just do the judge. Victims have all something in common, and the motives seem clear. But which suspect could have done it? Balanced case. Perfect for your first run. Let's do that. Let's do story. Money will be easy to get by, the investigation will be easier, every action will take less time for a chiller experience. The way Nightcall was designed, so that's the way we should play it. Let's do that. We leave a coffee stain. The level of difficulty is in the marks of how many coffee stains you leave on a desk. Who would have guessed? Oh yes, gotta have the lighting of a cigarette. Would not be a horror story without one of those. Nightcall. Doctor, it's lung cancer. Here. Ah! Sir, can you hear me? Or do I need to speak up? Fine. She takes a deep breath. Sir, you just spent 2 weeks in a coma. The word bounces around your head. You need a moment to understand its meaning. Coma. The word scratches along your throat. Yes, you were the victim of an assault. The world resonates in your head, victim. You are aware a serial killer is currently on the loose in Paris. You feel the contents of your stomach crawling up your throat. The judge, as the police call the killer, assaulted you. The bullets touched your liver, and, in most circumstances, it would have been fatal. We chose to put you in an induced. Her voice becomes more distant, fades. You taste bile at the back of your mouth. Your head is burning. You hear a whistle in one ear. Your finger moves to your wound underneath the bandages. You can feel hard skin. It is incredibly painful. I'm sorry. Did they catch the judge? No. What about the passenger? He was dead before you even got out of your cab. The doctor is silent for a second. A very awkward second. She hesitates. The police would like to see you as soon as possible to ask you some questions. After all, you're the only one who survived the judge. Noise in the hallway attracts your attention. Try to turn your head to no avail. You need to rest. She leaves the room. Her voice resonates in the hallway. I don't care. He's the only witness. Another female voice joins in. A strong, Arrithian voice. You can't clearly make up what she's saying. A strange feeling washes over you. It's not pain, not fatigue, some odd combination of the two. Before being in this hospital room, you never realized that anger was made up of a combination of pain and exhaustion. Anger. A feeling you know all too well. Days go by, and a month later, night 1. Well, look, I've got a bit of a problem. A real problem, that is. You have a pounding headache. It's your first night behind the wheel since the attack. Are you listening to me? You catch your boss's eyes in the rearview mirror. Yeah. He stares at you for a second or two without speaking. Oh, I shouldn't have done it in that voice. Sometimes I wonder what goes on inside your head. You always seem so far away. Let's not react. He's watching you closely, trying to make out what's going on in your head. You know, I'm worried about you, don't you? I know. You're like a son to me, you know? I know. And you know he's about to tell you the story of his taxi fleet. Again. When my father died and left me the store, I could have sold it. I could have retired, gone back to the old country. Let him go on. But I decided to start a cab fleet with the money he left me, to hire the guys from the neighborhood. And that's why I've got 45 guys like you working for me. His hand flutters in the air, though none of them are any match for you. He smiles, and his voice suddenly takes on a serious note. Do you want me to go over everything again? He points to the equipment on the dashboard, the meter, the GPS. You haven't been in a taxi for weeks. Maybe you do need a little refresher. Yeah, good idea. Right then. Well, first the map. You spot potential customers and try to guess where they'll be going. Then you decide. Do we just guess where they're going? They're not going to tell us? When a customer orders a taxi, if there's no one else around, you have to go pick them up. He shrugs. That's the way it goes. It's business. I don't know what I just pressed. The other fares you took at the map and decide whether or not you want to take them. And then, you drive. He flashes a quick, mechanical smile. You know it well. When he talks about work, he talks about work. That's all. When your shift is over, we do the numbers and... His voice trails off, as if searching for the right words. And that's all. It's pretty simple. There's no reason why you can't do it. Oh, right. No overtime. We're in France here, and there are rules, regulations. You might not see it that way, but no one likes having a driver who hasn't slept for 24 hours. He looks away. Something's been bothering him since he's got into the cab. Anyhow, you know the ropes. You get it. I know you're going to do a good job. What's the matter? Your boss keeps quiet for a while, as if he's hesitant to speak. And then... I don't think it's a good idea. You shouldn't be driving. The murderer is still out there, and we think he's gonna come back for you. Your colleagues. I do too. Anyway, I'll let you get back to work. Every minute spent in your taxi is a minute lost. He gives you a smile, half ironic, half serious. Have a good evening. The sarcasm in his voice is palpable. Right. You have a good evening too. They'll spend the rest of the night dealing with problems and drivers. You wonder how and when the guy ever gets any sleep. Your boss opens the door and exits the cab. You watch him cross the street and enter the fleet garage. A couple of colleagues are milling about. Taxis are coming and going. They all ignore you, consciously or unconsciously. You are branded. You sit there a moment, then turn the key in the ignition. The hum of the engine sends a tingle down your spine. It's impossible to describe how you miss that feeling. Oh, it's a good tingle. It's back to the night shift, back to life. Despite the attack. Despite it all. Despite it all! Despite it all! Oh. We can go pick up a cat. We gotta go pick up this cat. Let's go. That cat needs a ride. Can't just leave the cat be. Is that a monkey? Croakley. Distance 1.32 kilometers. Fare 4.25. Of course we're gonna accept it. You pull up to the sidewalk and wait for your passenger. Since it looks like a no-show, you get out of the cab after a minute or two to smoke a cigarette. There's not much going on in this small town in the suburbs. There are a few apartments that still have lights on. A sweet scent hangs in the air. Eventually, you stub out your cigarette and get back into the car. There it is. You jump startled. A cat has managed to slip into the cab. It's sitting on the back seat, staring at you intensely. You sit there for a moment, considering whether or not to shoo it away. But just as you're about to wave your hand, the cat shifts positions, and a slip of paper falls from its collar. Let's pick up the paper. You pick up the piece of paper and unfold it. Cat notices a squirrel. A fragment of map of Paris, the Saint Lazare train station. You turn your eyes slowly to the cat. He seems to be expecting an answer. Are you going somewhere? The cat tilts its head to the side, as if to say yes. You want to go to Saint Lazare? The cat tilts its head again. Are you a dog? The cat slowly nods its head. No. Your hands clutch the wheel tightly. It's a witch. What the hell is going on? You turn around to face the cat. Okay, fine, I'll take you. You let out a sigh. Okay, fine. You start talking to yourself in low tones, as if to balance the conversation. Normal. This is all perfectly normal. You start the cab, but cast a glance at the cat behind you. You're the one who ordered the cab. You start to laugh. A few minutes go by. You try to break the ice. Simple questions are probably best. Everything okay? Neither a yes or a no. More a plaintive meow. You're running away from someone? Are you meeting someone? Let's do that. No, that's not it. The cat is staring at you. The conversation seems to bore him. You seem to be well fed. Pretty strange, I must say. Did someone hurt you? A plaintive meow. You sigh. Your owner. Another meow, but longer and deeper. More heartfelt. You nod your head. What happened? Was it a man? No answer. A woman? Was she mean to you? The cat seems to be uncertain. She had other cats. She was overly affectionate. She was not around for you. The cat lets out a string of insistent meows. Touché. That's it. She's too affectionate. And that's why you're running away. The cat is watching you with a steady eye. You are sure you're on the right track. You have to be careful with people like that. They suffocate you before you even know it. You nod your head. But you ran away. I meet lots of people like you. You stop short. But you're just a cat. You roll your eyes behind you. The cat lets out a quiet, reassuring meow. Go on. What I mean is, well, you don't even know we are in a cage. We prefer not to think about it. We are never fully aware of it. You look at the cat. That must be crazy. I'm talking to You shake your head. You point to a light in the distance. That's Saint Lazare. We'll be there soon. According to this GPS, we're already there. A few yards later, you stop at the drop-off area in front of the station. The first train doesn't leave for another hour. Where are you going? The cat stares at you without making a noise. Let me guess. Saint Lazare. If you were going to the suburbs of Paris, you wouldn't have needed to come into town. So somewhere in the northwest of France. I don't know, northwest of France. Normandy. Somewhere by the sea, huh? Cat is looking at you and meows, a sharp sound. Probably a yes. A very hungry yes. For the fish, I guess. You check the time on the dashboard. It's time to go. To get a real customer. You try not to think too much about the situation you're in. And you hope that no one sees you talking to a cat. Let's see, well, go on. I'll just start saying the names of cities, and you meow when I hit the right one. You start to list cities in Normandy. The cat doesn't move a muscle. Cherbourg. The cat looks up. So it's Cherbourg. Getting close. Saint Malo. Still nothing. I've got it. Deweyville. A meow of delight. You're smiling too. All of a sudden, you're exhausted. Okay, Come on. Time to say goodbye. You get out of the cab and open the back door. A bill has appeared on the seat next to the cat. Is enough for the fare, and more. Well, you are full of surprises, aren't you? I won't ask you where it came from. You smile and lean over to pet the cat. It leaps out of the car and darts between your legs. You can just make out its sharp dashing up a flight of stairs and slipping between the bars of a gate. Achievement unlocked. Le cat. Oh, le chat. You get back in the car. You look at yourself in the rearview mirror. Your features are heavy with fatigue. Your right eyelid is twitching. As you start the car, you remember you're allergic to cats, but you haven't sneezed once. You pull out of the station. Woo, we got a 4-cent tip. Alright. Let's see. Guess we'll go here, huh? This person wearing like a hazmat mask? Alicia Cliffs. My poetry needs a car ride. It's a pretty big fare. Let's go. The woman getting in your cab looks frantic. I've lost my inspiration. Every last drop of it. Come on, drive. You throw a very skeptical look in the rearview mirror. I'll tell you when to stop. I have to. I'm seeing a stream. Dead. A billabong. She stops talking. You hear a low guttural sound coming from her throat. A mantra. Billabong? Billabong. I must find a billabong. Do you have an address for me? An address? How terribly conventional. She takes a minute to focus. Does time ask the sea to slow down its waves? She inhales, closes her eyes, and focuses her voice. Her voice drops, becomes more intense. A billabong. A dead river. There's one right below us. Drive! Drive! I say. Start driving. You start driving. A few minutes go by before you realize your passenger is making a guttural sound. The sound resonates with the hum of the engine. Once in a while she changes notes, modulating and playing with the harmonics. Suddenly she shouts, "Turn left!" Then, abruptly, as if she were following a path she alone could see, "Go down the boulevard!" You drive for a few minutes, aimlessly. In back, your passenger is still singing. The meter is running. The kind of ride that puts you out of sorts. Who knows when it'll end? Your passenger squeals. Stop! Right here. Not a bit further. You brake. Yes. Yes. She whistles a high, loud note. Out. The billabong runs just beneath us. Its water flows no more. The black stream from my vagina has stopped short. Oh, God. The rumble of revolution. The water flows no more. All that remains is to clear away the remains. You stop the engine. Silence fills the cab. Your passenger's low voice and the scratch of her pencil on the paper are hypnotizing. How many rivers run dry? The water has left its bed and flows no more. You feel something vibrate beneath you. Probably the metro. How I long to sculpt the clay and the mud of life in this water that flows no longer. Except the metro doesn't run this late at night. I plunge my calves in this water that flows no longer. I am calmed and refreshed by its coolness. She squeals so loudly it makes you jump. She then returns to a simpler, more natural tone. Thank you. This poem has been years in the making. I was only missing a few lines until tonight. I sensed the billabong I needed while walking down the street, like a Charon, a muse. She opens her eyes. You. When you're driving alone at night like this, what moves you the most? Never alone, all the people who don't sleep. The lack of silence. Let's do never alone. She shuts her eyes. Well, of course. True solitude does not exist. Simply pronouncing the word solitude proves we are not alone, because someone is listening. I like that idea. I walk in the night, on water that flows no longer. At my side are those who saw it run. A pause. Superb. Achievement unlocked. Yun Itulo. A second later, she's left the cab. I knew I would find my inspiration on the path to the billabong. She freezes. Your color is marble. Opacalcti. Never forget this. She says nothing more, passes you her fare through the window, and walks away with purpose. You sigh and drive away. That's a big fare. It didn't even look like we got all the way there. Bigger tip than the cat. The door suddenly opens, and a woman gets into the back seat. Busset, having a good night? For a second, you freeze. It's one of the cops working on the judge's case. She grins at you. Her voice creaks. You remember seeing her at the hospital. Something already bothered you about her there. You know, it's actually pretty crazy. For weeks, I've been saying to myself, there's something off about you. Something not so nice. I dug around, mulled it over, bugged all my fellow cops about it, because I was sure you lied to us. Didn't lie. She whistles to cut you off. Hey, I'm talking. She has a cold sneer on her face. I'm going to be frank with you. She leans over to you. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, that's the wrong voice. I don't think you're the judge. Nah, I just can't picture it. She squints, like she's trying to make you out from far away. Like you'd have gone to the extent of hurting yourself. Yeah, between us, it's a bit of a stretch. She stares at you. Well, not enough of a stretch for my chief to stop going on and on about you. Seriously, he talks about you all the time. If I didn't know better, I'd think he had a crush on you. She smirks. No, I think he's more interested in your profile. In prison at 17? An icy chill fills your gut. And for murder, too. You open your mouth, but nothing comes out. Since you got out, you've kept a low profile. But you're lying about your name and your address. I checked. It's normal, you'd say. If they get word of your time served, no loan for your permit, no lease for your car, meaning no second chance at life. Her voice becomes softer, almost warm. I personally like guys who want a second chance. No, I like guys who fight for a second chance. Basically, I like guys who are willing to work for me. She leans forward, her shining cat-like eyes narrowing. My chief wants to go on the prosecutor with a first and last name, with evidence. Actually, knowing him, he's not so hot on evidence. So I'll give you info. Victims, suspects, medical reports, some photos that are a bit... She makes a gagging noise. You have to be discreet. Keep it between you and me. Interrogate, ask questions, dig around. I'm not a cop. She shrugs. Don't worry. You're already keener than half the squad. And don't forget, I'm not asking you to make an arrest and deliver the killer wrapped up with a bow in front of the station, okay? You're no Batman. You're just here to get more information. She rummages around in her pockets for what seems like forever. Here, take my card. I'll call you in 3-4 days, just to check in. We'll chat. And I'll let you know if I have any new info. She takes out a dietetic Petronellix tone. I don't know how to pronounce that. Like she was giving you a list of recommendations for the 100th time. Don't get caught. Don't get arrested. Also, I wanted to recommend trying to leave Paris. I know what you look like, and I know who your friends are. You can either be the solution or the problem, my friend. She takes a minute to scan your face, your emotions. If I have to, I'll go check in on you-know-who. Her smile is biting. That reminds me, she know you've done time? You shake your head. She snickers. Oh, my little dirtbag, you cover your tracks well. What if I refuse? If you refuse? Simple. I'll turn you in. I'll send your picture to all my friends in the media and every asshole in Paris. Your picture with your name on it, your real name. Anyone close to you will have their places searched. They'll be put under house arrest, spend nights in jail. You have any idea how tense things are with that fucker's trail underway? You sigh. You know what she's trying to get at. Come to think of it, your last names are almost the same. You could be brothers, actually. I'm nothing like that son of a bitch. Let's do that one. She smiles. Let me tell you, with that face of yours and your handle, they'll welcome you with open arms. You have no right. I know. I know we have no right. She takes on a serious tone, businesslike. I want to catch this killer personally. I want to drag him to court, ruin his fucking life with a bang. I can't botch this case. You got me? And neither can you, right? Obviously. Well, great then. We see eye to eye. So you can just say you're my informant, my CI. He ripped open your gut. You saw your own insides. You were in a coma. Yeah, you have plenty of reasons to want to get back at him. She furrows her brow. Yeah, I think you're actually going to want to... Yeah, I think you're actually going to do what I tell you to do. You investigate, ask questions, listen to all the rumors you come up with, a list of suspects. She lays her hand on the door handle and freezes. Oh, right. And don't get fired. Without this cab, you're worth nothing to me. You glare at her. Say nothing. She puts her hand up, and you can hear the words behind it. This conversation never happened. I'll make sure you'll get more intel tomorrow. I'll find a way. Until then, not a word to anyone. Obviously, not a word. The door opens, squeaks, and slams shut. Fucking bitch. You sit alone for a while, teeth clenched, dry-eyed, ears buzzing. Shit. On the back seat, the cop left a pile of papers. Shit. Key in the ignition, motor running. Radio on, crackles. You turn it off and start driving. Talking to passengers might unlock new documents and clues for your investigation. You will find them back at your studio after your shift. 6 clues discovered, available in your room. So we're going now, or we still driving? Nope, looks like we're going back. You take a second to enjoy the silence of your studio apartment. Outside, the city is slowly waking up. You could still hear the hum of the taxi buzzing in your ears. You throw the files Bassett gave you on the table. On the wall, you hung up the big corkboard where you used to pin up photos of your nephews. They've been gone since you got out of... Your plan is simple. Jot down all the pieces of evidence and connect them to the suspects. The guilty party won't necessarily be the one with the most evidence against them, but the one with the most compelling evidence against them. It's like you're building a story about each suspect, trying to understand their motives, understand how he or she got into this situation. Steps in the hallway. They stop in front of your door, then move away. You glance at your bed and get to work. Let's see. So I guess we will go to autopsy report victim 3. No. Looks like time goes as we do this too. 3 clues discovered. Killer case. Picture of crime scene. Picture of crime scene 2. Picture of crime scene 3. Hervé Gralillo, homeless man with an unknown background, briefly worked for Charles Borgholm, victim number 2, in the 90s. Got health insurance after Rickelden health scandal, a couple of arrests for breaking and entering. Salem Waden, well-known lawyer from St. Owen. St. Owen? No, it's an O, it's not a Q. I don't have my glasses on. Defender of the Dower case. Defender of several molested kids in poor neighborhoods. Was a promising football player when he was 10. Can I move this? Okay. Oh, this actually has a band. This one does not. Is this one? It does. This one does not. These ones down here don't. These ones here do. Medical examiner in Paris. Escaped from Argentina when she was young. Lost her parents to the Argentinian Juanita, the processor. So matches the killer's height. And message on crime scene 3 equals time is up. What does that have to do with her? Retired cop, joined the police in 1977. Divorced from a judge. Born in the French at Antilles. Moved to mainland France in 1976. Weapon equals a rare gun used in the 70s. Was a retired cop from the 70s. And does match the killer's height. Pedro Batzaz. Cop in Paris. Dad was a cop. Financial affairs. Died 2 years ago. Mom got health issues after Rickelton health scandal. Gay. In a relationship. Never discloses this information at work. Message on crime scene 2, you deserve this. They mention that to him for whatever reason. He's also a cop. A lot of these people match the height. Is there anyone who doesn't? Nope, everyone's got the matched height. Which is the only reason they're all in here. Don't want to cover up that band. Killer left messages and shock on the first 3 crime scenes. Victims killed with 1 bullet in the neck. No sign of violence. Death equals execution. Killer knew the victim or researched them. And we don't know any of these. Can we like connect it to somebody? So yeah, so I don't really know how all this moves, but let's end the night. With a heavy hand, you wipe your tired face. You slowly open the sofa bed and lie down. The events of the day run through your head. The streets, the passengers, their faces, their problems. Your brain is running at full speed. Your body aches, and you're in pain. You can tell you need to get more sleep. You glance at your investigation board. It looks awfully empty. And are you sure this is the best? It's too soon to say. You shake your head, and your mind wanders for a second. Your eyelids flutter once, and you're asleep. Fluttering eyelids. You open one eye. Your back aches. You'd like to close your eyes and go back to sleep. You get up quickly. Now that's me every morning. Back aches, want to go back to bed. And a few minutes later, you're outside of your studio. Night 2. Do we need to go get gas? I don't think we need to go get gas. No newspaper available. Alright, let's just go see this person. Is that an ideal location? Peter DJ Watson, Covello, Porta de Versailles, distance 8.19 kilometers, 7.85. I accept. The door opens and your passenger collapses into the back seat. His eyes are hidden behind a pair of large dark glasses. His clothes reek of sweat and booze. A clubber. He mumbles his destination, and you start driving. A few words are exchanged. The weather, taxes, traffic. Then you can't tell it's coming. The inevitable conversation about the killer. Some bits of information, rumors, things overheard. You make a mental note of what you've heard. Who knows? It might come in handy. New clue. Your mind wanders. Your eyes vaguely scan the store windows. The sodium light coming off the street lamps feels like it's dripping into your brain. You're falling asleep. You need a bit of music to keep you awake. That's my passenger. You glance at your passenger. You mind if I put a little music on? He waves his hands as if to say, who cares? You turn the radio on, pressing the dial to find a station you like. 80s rock ballad, too soft. Behind you, your passenger is snoring. Barely, but you can hear him. Giorgian chant, mind-numbing. Some slow rap songs filled with fake female orgasm noises. Not with a passenger in the car. A female poet being interviewed about her latest book. You recognize the inimitable voice of one of your passengers. An ad interrupts the torrent of words and you change the station. Classical music again. The flute grates on your ears. Electronic music? You like the rhythm, but just aren't in the mood. Peter, stop. You lift your hand from the dial. The music plays on. Not bad. Turn it up so I can hear better. Say nothing. He leans forward. Not bad at all. You hear the touch of an accent, probably an American, but someone who's lived most of his life in France. Leave it on until they say the musician's name. The music continues. There's something turning in the background, a persistent melody that gets higher and higher. Your client mumbles, I bet. The song is coming to an end, and the announcer in a piercing... Oh, it's me. The song is coming to an end, and the announcer, in a piercing foghorn voice, throws out the name of a DJ you've never heard of. DJ Blunt. I knew it. And like his stuff? Yeah, it's got good products. It's pretty conventionally structured, but it's super popular. He snickers. Still, I taught that dude everything he knows. Everything. In '94, at a party at the Rex Club, there was this kid who started buying me rounds. He waves his hand around. A kid, no older than 17. I thought he was hitting on me. He chuckles. He would have been disappointed. He shakes his head. No, he wanted me to teach him how to spin. I told him no, but you can watch. And that's exactly what he did, every week until we moved to the Osiris. Osiris? He sold X to pay his ways in. He briefly snickers. And now he's on the radio. Silence fills the cab. Weighted silence. You could tell your passenger's mind is spinning. You know what he did this summer? He was the opener for that soccer championship at Stade de France. It was huge. Wonder what people think if they knew he was selling drugs at 17. He lowers his voice a bit. If they only knew. Your passenger clams up. I'm gonna watch him. You stare at your passenger and notice little details revealing how old he must be. The thinning hair on top of his head, the creases in his forehead, his worn blazer that he can't quite fasten anymore. We ran into each other in Ibiza 4 or 5 years ago. You almost jump at the sound of his voice. I was spinning in this little club. Yeah, really little. But it was something. He totally ignored me. Of course. Even with those dark glasses, you can see how angry he is. DJ motherfucking cunt. He suddenly starts waving his arms around. He rummages through his pockets as he says, your radio. Can it take a flash drive? You glance at your radio. You don't really know what he's talking about. No, only CDs. No worries. He lays his phone in the space between the two front seats. Listen to this. It's what I played tonight. It's mine. He sets his phone to play. But, you know, people were barely dancing. A drum machine playing a hard-edged beat in the background. They were talking. Taking each other's pictures. 4 notes start to dance in the cab. They barely touch, never kiss anymore. A perfect dance beat becomes progressively audible. All that. A purely electronic crescendo plays, or crescendo. I've heard that word before, never seen it spelt. It's over. There's a break in the music. Synthesized strings calm the song down without slowing it down. At least, the song is getting intense again. Explodes as your passenger drifts off. I got people dancing. The song keeps going for another minute, then stops. Your passenger doesn't budge. You drive to the rhythm of his snoring. The sound fills the cab. Why did we just stop for so long? Ideas are bouncing through your head, like they do every time you find yourself alone. This guy in the back seat is too old to be young. You look at your own hands. They look like they're suddenly aging in time lapse. You close your eyes a second. Only a second. When you open them, you've reached your destination and have pulled over to the sidewalk. You tap your passenger's knee, and he wakes with a start. Shit, yeah? We're here, sir. Ah, yes, great. He rummages through his pockets and hands you a few rumpled bills for fare. Thanks. I hope you liked it. Silence. The music, I mean, my music. The song I played you. I should have been in the spotlight, you see. We're still driving. 15 minutes of fame. Just a minute of it. He stifles a burp. You hear him mumble as he leaves the taxi. Those whiskey and... is it Oraginis? Really... oh, wrong person. He's not even back there anymore. He's apparently still talking, the ghost. Those whiskey and Ornaginis really screw with my system. You see him stagger towards his building. It takes him several tries to get the door open. He finally disappears inside. You heave a long sigh. Okay, come on. Phew. Oh, it's the poet lady again. Oh, this one here. That's one of the suspects. Makes time go faster if you listen to radio. Huve Gralou. Hey, pal. Can you help me out? Except... the door opens. It's Hervé, a homeless man, like hundreds of others in Paris. You've known each other for years, and every now and then, he asks a favor of you, to drive him someplace. As usual, he greets you quietly, though he always seems a little on edge. Hey, buddy, what's up, pup? He has a strange verbal tic that you never really understood. You start the cab. You look in the rearview mirror, and you realize that the homeless man is clutching his left side. Well, alright already, Freddy? Is everything alright? He gives you a vague answer. Yeah, sure, fine. A pause. You can't help making a face. It's just... you're really not looking that great. Don't worry. Don't worry. I got in a little fight last night with this guy. But that's all taken care of now. All taken care of. He smiles, revealing a row of bad teeth. You don't want to see a doctor? What kind of fight? With a wave of his hands, he changes the subject. Bah, who gives a shit about what kind of fight it was? All you need to know is he took something that belonged to me, and he paid the price. He closes his eyes a moment. So, yeah, it wasn't all that bad. But if you let someone steal your stuff, you're done for. Sure. You have to show them you're tough, that you are a big shot. He pulls a sour smile. Sometime later, your passenger clears his throat. You wouldn't happen to have a little something to drink, would you? You know, like they do in those newfangled cabs these days. Chauffeur driving cars. Chauffeur-driven cars. That's what it is, chauffeur. Yeah, that's right. Right. I don't have anything. Sorry. He nods. I don't mean water, you know. You smile. I realize that. Ah. He sighs. Usually, you're not such a pain. I'm worried. He opens his mouth to say something, then stops short. Yeah, I know, man. Sorry. He gives you a black look. Questions? You know, I've got those morning, noon, and night. I'm sick and tired of them. He loses himself in thought. As you drive along, you see him struggling to keep his eyes open. They are more often shut than open now. Turn up the heat. Your passenger's head jerks back up. Ah, you're a really good guy, you know, yo? Your passenger gives you a sleepy smile. Hey, serious, you don't mind if I get a little shut-eye on the way, do you? You nod. Enjoy. He gives you a smile, but it's still a painful grimace. Next thing you know, he's sound asleep. You continue to drive in silence, soothed by the warm air of the car heater. You pull up in front of the nondescripted gray building. Your passenger immediately wakes up and looks around. Shit! This is great! I'm first! Where are we? An organization that hands out clothes for winter. I heard they were going to open a pause. He's screeching for the right word. A new shop, you could say. And I'm the first one, huh? When does it open? 2 days from now. Your eyes widen. Your passenger gives a little laugh. Don't worry, I have plenty to keep me busy. He pats his pants pockets. I found some books. One on yoga, and then a book by that old handsome dude. You know, the guy who talks on the radio. It'll help pass the time. He gives you a tap on the shoulder. He reaches for the door and stops short, overcome with a spasm of pain. Just gonna stop the alarm. It's been an hour. Fuck. Are you okay? Yeah, don't worry. See you next time. Yeah. He turns to you and gives you one of his big smiles. He opens the door and climbs gingerly out. And, thanks for turning up the heat. That was nice. Next thing you know, he's disappeared down a dark side street. You sigh and start the cab. We got nothing from that, because he's a homeless guy. That's understandable. Alright. Well, I mean, they were flashing yellow, so I thought it was a person that was on the board. Maybe not. But ideally, this would be the next place I would go. Anyways, though, that has been an hour. So that is going to do it for me for Night Call. Not a bad game. I really enjoy noir games. Like we played Chicken Cop at the very beginning. It was one of the first games that we played for New Year, New Game. And this one's pretty good. It's got a lot of story to it. And I mean, there's so many different unique passengers on there. And it seems like each one's got like a little story to tell. All at the same time, you're trying to unravel the mystery of this person who shot you. And there's also 2 other scenarios to play as well. Maybe more unlock as you progress the story. Who knows? I don't. It was the first time I played this game. I would definitely play it again, though. It definitely seems like a fun game. It does seem story-based, too. Like, if you're playing this game, you're playing it to complete the story. This isn't just like a game that you're playing to pass the time. This is something that like you're going to sit down, you're going to play, and enjoy the story that's going on. Get to the end, figure out and find out who was the person who shot you, and maybe check out some of those other investigations as well. But it's very well put together, very well written, and maybe I'll play it again later. Who knows? Anyways, that is going to do it for me. If you enjoyed Night Call, then I gotta keep looking back to see. There will be a link. Well, if you're looking for Night Call, you can purchase it through Steam. That's how I'm playing this game. It is available on Steam. If it happens to be available through Humble Bundle, I will include a link in the description below. If you click on that link and purchase Night Call that way, I will get a little bit back to my Humble Bundle wallet, which I use to purchase more games, because more games is more good. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next game. Goodbye.